Hey there, just out here on my bike and thinking about my clients and just sort of the big picture of conflict and how I as a lawyer can best bless my clients and really give them the greatest value for coming to see me. And it just occurs to me that one of the most important things that a person can do if they're facing conflict or in the midst of conflict is to obtain wise counsel as early as you can in the process. The problem with conflict is that the longer it goes and the more it escalates and the more people get entrenched in their positions from an emotional standpoint and a financial standpoint, the harder it is to unravel the conflict and resolve it in a way that mitigates the downsides associated with the fact that there was a disagreement to begin with and mitigates the transaction costs, etc. So one of the most important things that you can do is to get to someone who's wise early. I can tell you that the motto that I have at my law firm is truth guided and relationship driven, and that springs from the fact that I happen to be a Christian. That informs the core of my decision making, my thought life, my marriage, my interaction with the waitress at lunch, my interaction with my clients. Doesn't mean that has to be the paradigm of my clients or anybody else, but it's at least going to inform my position, which doesn't have anything to do with religion, but I'm not going to get into that right now. But so how does that correlate to conflict? Well, when I meet with a client, the best thing that I can do for my client is give them a real world expectation about costs, potential outcomes, risks, just sort of the realities of what they're stepping into, because I do it for a living. And you know, there are people in the marketplace that will, and I'm not saying this pervades, I'll let you make your own decisions based upon the information that you have, but there are people in the marketplace, the conflict marketplace, who will seek to promote litigation and conflict and escalation as a mean towards accomplishing the goals of the client. And while sometimes I do believe and I know that litigation and escalation is a kind of a necessary evil in the process, the secret sauce in my success as a lawyer is the fact that I seek to resolve matters at the lowest end of the conflict continuum. So it doesn't mean that I'm a passive or I'm a dove and I'm not willing to be a hawk. What it means is the rational, prudent approach is to assess the situation with the greatest clarity and the least bias favoring any particular approach. So you come with sort of a tabula rasa, a blank slate. You assess the facts, you assess the law, and then you just start working through real world pro formas of each potential strategic trajectory and the likely outcomes. And so when you work through this process, lawyer and client, things seem to become distilled, and you know, where a client is fearing or worrying or mind dealing in a certain area, we may be able to have a conversation that informs you, well, that whole bandwidth of approach that you've been thinking about and worried about, it's not even really on the table. There's this other approach that's just way better and way more rational. But hey, we may come to the end of the conversation and it may be, hey, you have really three rational approaches, A, B, and C. This is sort of a bracketing of what it's going to cost. And one of those approaches may be me describing for you, or me or one of my lawyers, partners, maybe us describing how there is some self-help stuff that you could do that may be the most efficacious with regard to the outcome and the most cost-effective. I find myself, as many times as not, talking people out of hiring me to do litigation or to sue someone. I have plenty of work. That's where it comes back to truth-guided, relationship-driven. I'm not going to give you recommendations based upon my bottom line. That's a dead-ender game. That's no way to build a practice or relationships. So I don't do that. But the key is this: the earlier that you can have the conversation that I'm describing, the better. Because the earlier in conflict you are, the more options that there are. Always. So the best time to see a lawyer is at the outset of a business relationship, before you've even signed a deal, when you're contemplating going into a deal. You know, spend the $500 and come sit down with me for a couple hours or whatever, and we'll talk about it. You know, don't wait until you're already in a bad deal with a person who's not operating in good faith, and you're 3 plays in with text communications or, you know, contractual commitments not made or met or abided by, you know, or a lawsuit pending. Don't wait till then. You're throwing down dollars to pick up dimes when you do that. The earlier in conflict that you can see someone who will give you wise counsel, I can assure you, the cheaper the conflict will be, if it even occurs, and the more options you'll have for extricating yourself there will be. But understand, I'm an AV-rated commercial litigator. I handle substantive cases in state and federal court, in court all the time. Happy to go to trial. But if I'm in trial, you know, I'd like to be there knowing that before trial, way before trial, I give my client the best possible chance of never having been there. So anyways, God bless the listeners, and have a beautiful day, and let us know if we can help you at the Boatman Law Firm.